swear once in your life.
We're back.
What is going on, everyone? It's like we were never here, and yet we're back again for some reason. I apologize. We're late. My bad. A bunch of stuff going on around here as I'm getting ready to leave tomorrow. My bad. My bad, everyone. Relax. We're here to talk our favorite thing ever, college football. And what better would you do than talk the Sun Belt Fun Belt? Hell yeah, let's go. But how are you guys doing tonight? Sean? Jackson?
Oh, we're doing great. How are you doing tonight, Ben?
Like $1 million.
How you doing, Sean?
He doesn't look like $1 million, that's for sure.
It's Fun Belt time week. I mean, this is what all these schedule preview weeks have been leading up to. This moment right here.
Yes, it is. We have been saving this for the last because it is the
SBC.
It's the Fun Belt. I mean, why not? Of course, you're going to save it for last, right?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah. I mean, they don't call it the Fun Belt for nothing.
Other than it's an easy rhyme. But yeah, it works. Well, let's start off as usual. One, everyone in the chat, thank you for being here. As always, I know we have a lot of our usual viewers. Jackson is posting like crazy. The chat has gone back too far because I was so late. I apologize again to everyone here. So stick with us. Jackson and Sean, one by one, please tell where people can stalk you online if they so choose to.
Well, they can find me online right here on YouTube at Jackson Johnson 979, where I'm 175 subs away from the magic number 500. They can also find me on X at Jackson09960335 and on Instagram and Threads at Jackson Johnson 543908. And they can also find my latest 2 episodes of the Jacksonian with Steve Hellwagon, the editor and senior writer at Buttnuts 247 and co-host of Buckeyes Live and Ohio State Football, the Voice of College Football, from Wednesday afternoon. And it's right there. Also, they can find episode 31 with Matt Torres, the host of the Ducks Dish podcast and reporter for Scoop Duck at On 3. Of course, they can also find some clips that I edited from episode 31, where I discussed Oregon joining the Big Ten and the future of the Oregon State rivalry.
Sorry, you calm down over there, Jackson. Stop doing so much. Sean.
I'm Sean. You can find me here. That's about it. Counting down the days until the football season starts.
You can also find Sean in everyone's lumberjack dreams.
90 days until kickoff and 95 days until the start of week 1.
Damn right. I'm working on my beard, Sean. Relax. Coming back.
That both simultaneously sounds like really close and really far away.
It does. It does. But it sounds a lot better than when people are like 120 days. I'm like, oh my god. Now it's like, okay, at least we're under.
Yeah, what was it? I mean, the one of the Buckeye shows I listen to, they open every video by saying the game against Akron is 156 days away. The game against Michigan, like 2,000 days away. No. I mean, might as well be. I mean, it's
for what? For 3 years ago? I mean, what are we doing here?
That's good mathing, Ben. Yeah, that's.
Oh man, which show was it from?
No, I mean, but it's like you just have to remind us like how pathetic we are. We're waiting. We're we're hanging on to something that's not happening for months and months and months away. At least it's getting close now. At least there's like it's one season away.
It's getting there. We're almost to summer or fall practice,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when you know football is coming up.
Oh yeah.
That's exactly when you know it. One thing, yeah, this is what I was going to bring up, so I'm glad I kind of remembered it. You brought it up now. There is a big development. Not so much big now, but I think it's 15 to 20 days away from the first NCAA college football game in what 10 years? 11 years?
11 years.
You might not be excited to play football on the video game, series, and that's something. You might not be the gamer. I'm not a gamer. You won't keep my ass off of that thing for like 2 months until football season starts. I will be pre-ordering it here in a couple weeks, and yeah, good luck. Good luck, everybody, finding me for that.
That's
You've seen the trailer, right?
I have not seen the trailer. I am boycotting this game over Donovan Edwards being put on the cover. That is an absolute joke. The guy didn't even have 500 yards rushing last year. He's the cover guy.
Don't worry. There's Oregon off in the corner, like behind like 4 helmets. You just see half the O, and I'm like, really? You put like Shador Hunter on there, but you didn't put
Ohio State. The one guy from Ohio State on the cover hasn't played for Ohio State. Played one snap for Ohio State.
I'll tell you this, gents. Like, I want to see if this game's going to be awesome like it was in years past, or if it's going to be like the past few Madden games where they're just all sucky.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
It's a fair point because EA made the last Madden ones, but they're looking. Everyone that I've seen and I've watched it, and they're like, dude, this trailer looks ridiculous. Like, in the sense of like how much work they put into it, and for the amount of time spent to get to the point and then put it out like they're doing with all they had to have put so much effort into the what is it called, the engines, for the gameplay, because it actually looks pretty damn phenomenal. I'm like, let's go, finally.
Well, and plus, I keep thinking about how, like, I don't have a PS5, which, I mean, that's too expensive. Like, I'm gonna use that money to see what I can invest in the stock market. I'll see what I can do, because like I'm not blowing my money on a crap. If it's a crappy product, I'm not blowing my money on it. But if it's a good product, then the reviews will say so. And it's like, you know what? Maybe I'll get it.
So, see, I was looking into seeing if there's any way you can get it without having to purchase a gaming console, because I haven't played video games in a very long time. But I would be very interested. I am very curious about this game, see how it develops. But I'm probably not gonna spend the like $350 or whatever it would cost me to actually be able to play the game. So I'm probably going to sit this one out, but I'm very, very excited.
I mean, I'm not pissing away $250. That's just not happening. That's just dumb.
No, be sensible. I'm not buying like the premier level of the game, the limited. I'm not doing that. I'm just going to buy the game, and I already have my Xbox One. So if anyone's on Xbox and wants to play me online, challenge me, bitch. I promise you, I will whoop your ass. But anyways, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I'll just go to a friend's house for the game instead. I'll just go to a friend's house to play the game.
Yeah, I don't game at all. Literally, my Xbox, I have a 360 here. It's now unplugged because the actual adapter, the power adapter, the big block, it started making as much noise as the 360 does just to keep it powered. I had to unplug it because it was so noisy. We were like, what is that sound? It's literally like the fan inside the little bitch has like come loose. It's like, I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not a gamer. I play NFL online, like Madden online. Maybe 1 game a week, 2 games at most a week. That's it. Other than that, it never gets turned on. So, with that being said, now that we've talked video games, we've talked about how Sean is a lumberjack and where you can't find him.
Yes.
Who wants to get into the Fun Belt? I mean, the Sun Belt.
Are we going to talk at all about the massive ruling quick this week with the pay for play?
2.7 billion.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the blue bloods will be fine. The non-blue bloods, they're gonna get screwed as usual, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed by the ruling. As much as people don't like these third parties and sort of the lack of transparency with NIL, I think that this is actually quite a bit more problematic. I've never been a fan of putting the burden on the universities to actually. I think that just ends up diverting a lot of resources away from other programs in the athletic department. I mean, you're going to see an increase in programs getting dropped at the Olympic level. I mean, this is. I don't think, and I mean, even with the 20 million cap, I don't think that eliminates the problem at all. I think that just creates basically a whole new system for potential cheating, because programs are going to be trying to find a way to spend more than this, and then you end up having almost the same problem as you had when they weren't getting paid at all. There's still will. I mean, right now at least, the black market is in the light, and with these kind of restrictions, I think you open up potential new avenues for cheating and for chicanery and yeah, I mean. And now all these 18, 19, 20-year-olds, if they're at a public university, what they're getting paid by the university is public record, public knowledge. I don't know if that's necessarily a great thing either. So I don't like the way this is going, to be honest. I actually think this is a worse system than what we have now.
I think part of it, though, is, this is what was going to happen to some degree. As soon as NIL was approved immediately with no oversight, no anything, we all knew this. We're like, look, big schools are going to get the players they want. We knew little schools were going to suffer in the long run. That's why I think at that point, especially with NIL, people were like, hey, just separate the top schools and the little schools into, like their own conferences, divisions, almost, because at some point you kind of felt like that's was gonna start happening a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's kind of the way it's been forever in college football too. Indiana's not getting the same players Ohio State, Michigan are. They're not. Wake Forest isn't competing with Miami or Florida State for recruits. I mean, you're just. It's the way it. And I think we've also seen that just having just throwing a lot of money around doesn't guarantee you any success on the field. I mean, we all remember that huge national title game between Texas A&M and Miami last year, don't we?
Oh yeah, with that unprecedented recruiting class with Texas A&M. How did they not win a national title? How did Miami do it? What?
How did they not win more
that
than
didn't happen? That didn't happen either. Never mind. Sorry, I don't know what I'm thinking about him.
Yep. There'll be agreed with you, Sean. There will definitely be a lot of provocation, procrastination, and chicanery.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing that on Have Gun Will Travel once. I'm like, oh, this is the night to use those words.
You've been saving that for a while, haven't you?
Yep. I most certainly have. But on a higher note, If you love exclusive live streams, watch parties, predictions, betting advice, and insider looks in all of college football, go to patreon.com/MarkRogersTV, where you not only help Mark, but you also help yourself. How are you helping yourself? By coming on in some Sunday nights during the off season and every Sunday night during the regular season by joining in on co-hosting one of the best college football post-game show, College Football After Dark, right here on the Voice of College Football. Stay tuned.
I don't know what point Dependent Fanatic is responding.
You know what he's doing.
He's trying to get me to acknowledge him.
Yes, you know it.
I think he's right on what he's saying about the other sports. You know, like the baseball, softball, volleyball. Like they're gonna be left behind to figure it out. Whereas like basketball will be fine. Football is gonna be more than fine. But the other sport, not so much.
But I mean, they have this cap. There is no way on earth that a lot of these schools are going to be able to pay out this kind of money to these players. I mean, you think there's 20 million? I mean, the schools we're talking about tonight aren't paying their players $20 million.
Oh, hell
no. They're paying them a fraction of that.
You're going to see a lot more of these games against some tier schools that are making more money now with TV rights and stuff because they can then make that $20 million a year to get their ass kicked 3 or 4 times a year. You know, to fund some of it. That's going to come up a few
Took me 10 minutes after the ads.
I don't know what type of spam he's getting, but stop looking at those sites. We'll leave it at that. All right, let's get the hell into this because this is what we're here for. It is the Sun Belt 2024 conference schedule preview. Let's get into it, and so everyone remembers what we are looking at here, I will share my screen. And we're going to look at last year's. Ooh, that's pretty small. I had a feeling it was going to be. Boom. Last year's conference records with James Madison coming in an impressive 11-2 overall.
App State coming in with the upset.
App State winning pulling a 2012 Wisconsin winning the conference without winning the division.
That little there. Yep. Coastal, solid. Obviously not quite what they were maybe hoping for, but it's still a solid season. And then it's a straight downfall kind of from there. I mean, Old Dominion, okay. Georgia.
Oh, that CW curse got Marshall. That got him big time.
Oh yeah. The East though is actually the strongest squad.
Oh yeah. It's definitely the deeper division. Yeah. You got pretty much none of the bottom feeders in the league.
Because then you go on down here into the West, and Troy, obviously, very good year. Texas State, pretty solid. South Alabama had some close games, but did fall into 7-6 realm. But they had some close games. But then after that, you kind of have the bottom feeders, especially of Southern Miss. Poor Monroe.
This is not the Southern Miss from the 90s.
No. Jeff Bowers is long gone.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's not the Louisiana Lafayette of just a couple years ago either. It's Arkansas State. First game of the year last year, they lost. What was it, like 73-0 or something to Oklahoma? But
Oh yeah.
Butch Jones was crying on the sidelines in that game.
Oh, Oklahoma had a lot of shotguns and put it up to their butts, is what they did.
Yeah.
I actually thought we were going to see Butch Jones wind up having a hot seat, but I guess not.
I mean, 6 and 7. I mean, it's at least you weren't the bottom of your thing, especially in this weaker side.
Oh no.
Still, yeah. Arkansas.
Yeah, but
I mean, people don't remember Arkansas State actually had 2 or 3 year run where they were for a while where they were actually like pretty good. I mean, now that was like 12, 13 years ago. But they've just kind of been meh since then.
Yeah, they've had a lot of struggles recently. Last year, actually getting bowl eligible was a big step for them. Yeah, and then you can see Troy just running over the West here. Texas State, though, interesting. They might be on the come up this year. They've got a hot coach, GJ Kenny, and they actually poached James Madison's quarterback, Jordan McLeod.
And watch out for South Alabama too. They had multiple very close games also. So it's not like they were just getting their losses were like complete blowouts, or something like that. So, watch out for Ron and his boys over there.
Yeah,
but it's
Texas
definitely the weaker side of the conference.
Yeah, I noticed that Coastal Carolina had a huge drop from last season, but that's with Tim Beck as head coach. Question is, will they go back up this season, or will they just keep on treading down? And that's my question for Troy as well, because now that their coach has gone to Tulane, they got Gerard Parker. Let's just say Notre Dame was happy to see him go. That's not a good sign for the University of Troy.
Gerard Parker is their head coach?
I'm afraid so.
Oh. Wow. That's
bad.
That's an interesting hire. I don't know. That's certainly not where I thought his career was trajecting towards last season.
The fact that Notre Dame was happy to see him go is a sign that things are not going to be good for Troy.
And yes, to everyone wishing a happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day.
Yes. That is kind of an odd way to put it. How about a solemn Memorial Day? Is that like a no? Have all the respect in the world for the people that have fought and made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. I mean, we're here bullshitting about the Fun Belt because of them. So, and people do a lot more important things, and it's always appropriate to honor our troops, our service people. And I know we have one on this panel too. So.
Cool.
Jackson. Jackson's a.
Our 20s man.
Yeah, and that's it. A lot of people always get Memorial Day confused with Veterans Day or whatever. But personally, myself, as a veteran, I guess, I always just think of Memorial Day as a way of also commemorating to veterans, also in the way, even if they are still here, still with us, because there's only really 2 days a year that gets that kind of, memoriam, so to say. But yeah, Memorial Day is definitely for all the fallen individuals who gave everything.
Yeah, I went to Washington D.C. a couple months ago. And managed and had the honor of touring Arlington on my trip there. I'm very glad I made a point of doing that while I was there. It's an eye-opening experience, and visited all the war memorials on the mall too. I mean, it was very special to me to go through that.
Yeah, no, 100%. And yes, we do know as easy donkeys that you all have no idea. Yeah, I'm still here. I survived 3 tours. And so very happy for that, obviously, because now I get to be here knowing you with the fun belt. This is why I'm here. This is what I was meant to do with Jackson and Sean's. More than assistance. More than assistance by far. Especially Jackson's knowledge of random information and shit that I could never remember. Alcohol.
Out of respect for the day, I will refrain from referring to any tricky spots on the schedules tonight as landmines. So.
Oh, it's so thoughtful of you. Now, the viewers are going to hate this, as I told you guys before we went live. There was no good graphic for the Sun Belt that I could find compared to all the other conferences. There was none. So, what we're going to hit is this sweet PDF file that someone decided to post on one of the sites, like one of the official sites. There's a PDF file. So enjoy the no color graphic representation. Where are you? There you are. Oh, bam! Look at that.
Yeah, so no goofy logos that we have to guess what they are on.
This is literally all like fine. This was it. I was like, really? I'm on some belt. I expect better from you. Oh, okay, that blows up.
Those interns in the media relations department need to step their game up.
I can't. If we thought that Oklahoma Arkansas State game was bad last year, I can't imagine what Michigan's going to do to them in the back room. Good grief.
Well, Michigan might have some offensive issues, though. Who knows? It might not. I mean, Arkansas State might not move the ball past midfield the entire game. In that one. You know, I don't know. Maybe Michigan won't have the offense to put up just an embarrassing number on them.
Oh, Michigan, they're going to get that paddle out, and they are just going to spank Arkansas State. Way worse than that Pop-Tart does to the referee.
Hey, we're not at that point to show yet.
I know.
Pop-Tart out of your mouth. Yeah, Arkansas State is going to get killed. Appalachian State at Clemson, that could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that is probably the most interesting, most compelling matchup on here. I mean, App State's going to be big underdogs for sure, but you know, Clemson, I don't know if anybody really knows what kind of team they're going to have this year. I've seen them predicted to win the ACC by a lot of people, and I've seen people think, yeah, they're kind of on the downward trend. That could very easily be a really competitive game, be a 4-quarter game for sure.
Yeah. App State does that. They save like all their muscle and energy for like one non-con game, and give it to everyone.
Oh, can you believe it's been 17 years now since that Michigan game? God, feels like yesterday to me. It'll always feel like yesterday.
Georgia Southern has Boise State. That actually could be a pretty interesting little game there.
I mean, they are going to Georgia Southern. They're hosting that game.
Georgia State.
Yeah, Georgia Southern is hosting Boise State. Then also because the following week Boise State has to go to Oregon. So is Boise State going to be paying attention, and Georgia Southern give them a little, and can Boise keep up with their momentum of last year?
That shouldn't be too difficult of a showing for Boise. If they struggle in that one, then they're going to have problems the rest of the season.
Yeah. Maybe they should put that game on Thursday night, honestly.
Yeah, that probably could be. Then they go to Nevada, and then they're going to have to play at Mississippi. Yeah.
Ole Miss is going to make life miserable for him.
And then,
Not the easiest non-con schedule. I mean, not the easiest, for sure.
it should be interesting to know. I mean, like something to keep track of. The Sun Belt's the only conference I believe that still has divisions, or the MAC does too. I think. As well.
I don't think the MAC has any divisions, but we can
They
check.
They did last year. Did they dissolve the division format? I don't think they did. I don't remember hearing.
I don't think so.
Hold on. Dependent Fanatic is saying something. App State was 3-time FCS champs, and we had Oregon the next week. Both at home, by the way, for Michigan fans, if you don't recall that 2007 season. That was
well,
we overlooked App, which led to Michigan's dark age. You didn't overlook App State because then you still got smoked by Oregon.
I was about to say.
I don't think you were paying attention to anyone on that schedule.
Oh, Dennis Ditson just spanked that Michigan defense.
Yeah, I was about to say, we only scored 7 points in the whole second quarter, in the second half.
I always remember that Statue of Liberty play where he just goes.
Oh, because we did it twice. We did a Statue of Liberty, and then he did the fake one.
The fake.
I can't believe that's going to be a conference game 17 years later.
I hope to God in some position Will Snyder's like, Statue of Liberty, baby. Just in the big house again, just to bring up like this sour note.
I don't blame him, man.
Yeah, that game was not pretty, especially.
I bet USC has nightmares about him.
Yeah. Oh, I feel bad for Michigan because that was just such a tragic year. You lose to App State and you get smoked by Oregon on national television too. It's like, yeah, that was not a good back-to-back week.
No.
I feel bad because thankfully I haven't had to deal with that much since the 2020 season where we lost those 2 random games that we really should never have lost, but the team was putrid.
So it's interesting to know who from the East has to play Troy and who misses them, because that's a big break in the scheduling if you don't have to play them.
Yeah, Georgia State does not have to play them, and James Madison gets to miss them also. That is a big break.
Georgia State. This is going to be their first season without Sean Elliott as head coach. We're going to be seeing Dale McGee from Holy Cross.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that. I don't think Holy Cross is a little bit better last year than they had been.
Oh, not Holy Cross. My mistake. It was another guy. It's James Madison's coach. My mistake.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Bob Chesney came from Holy Cross, went to James Madison. Georgia State's head coach is a Kirby Smart assistant. I've got a feeling that we're going to be seeing the Kirby. We're seeing the Kirby assistants. We're going to see them become really successful.
Yeah. Build a tree off of the Saban tree. Yeah.
True.
It'll be, I could definitely see. We've got a couple this year. Fran Brown up at Syracuse. See how he does. Georgia State, they've got a game against Georgia Tech too. That's got to be about the shortest away road trip of the year. You get to play a road game and you don't even have to leave your city.
I just wonder which version.
That's convenient.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder which version of Georgia Tech we're gonna get. The one that got beat by Bowling Green, or the one that somehow beat Miami.
Yeah, Georgia Tech has dropped some games against these lower level teams. Also lost to Northern Illinois a couple years back. This is be an interesting one, and Georgia State, possibly a winnable game there against Vanderbilt too. I mean,
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Fucking Vandy. I don't know what it's at Vanderbilt, but I mean, does anyone go? No, they host Vanderbilt. No,
they
I
host
apologize.
Vanderbilt. Yeah.
I apologize. I mean, it's not like that far of a drive from Vandy
Do,
to
do,
get there. Really, it's
do you know? Does
you know,
Georgia
a
State
few hours.
does Georgia State play in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium? I know they used to play in the Georgia Dome, but do they?
Do they still? I
They
don't think
play
so.
at Center Park Stadium.
Okay, so they've got their own. They've got their own field now.
Yeah,
So,
I was like, I don't think they do, but then again, you know.
I remember they played Bama like in about 2011, 2012, something like that. It was their actual first season as a program, as a full-fledged program, and somehow Alabama was on the schedule. That was interesting.
Well, here we go.
Louisiana's got to go to Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw State. Yeah, it's like Kennesaw State.
Yeah, Kennesaw State. We covered them a few weeks back that on the Conference USA schedule preview. They'll be in their first year of that conference.
Yeah. And they're not very good, so Louisiana should win that one.
Louisiana, Wake Forest. I wonder if that's going to be on the CW, and if it does go on there, who gets cursed that week?
The CW was a curse for the ACC last year.
Yeah, Marshall can totally relate.
And watch out for the Stony Brook here. Watch out, Stony Brook.
Yeah, so let me see. Marshall was 4-0 last year going into NC State, but then they finished the year at 1-7 after the loss to NC. Not 1-7, 2-7. But Jesus, that's bad. Like 2-6 after NC State. You finished at 6-7. I mean,
and Marshall's not doing themselves any favor. I mean, they do have a fight between. I mean, Virginia Tech was finishing the year very strong last year, and then at Ohio State. Eesh. You know.
They do have I do like seeing rekindling of an old MAC matchup with Western Michigan. This was actually a fairly tense rivalry back in like the late 90s. Those were probably the two best programs in the MAC at one point. Late 90s, early 2000s. And yeah, that Marshall win over Notre Dame 2 years ago, that still might be the most head-scratching, shocking, inexplicable upset of the last couple of years.
Well, then they did lose to Stanford,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Charles Huff, he was kind of a hot coaching commodity for a second. I think all the buzz on that has pretty much completely died down.
Let's see, Old Dominion not helping themselves out here at South Carolina. No. To Rattler, hosting Virginia Tech.
They always give Virginia Tech a lot of trouble.
Old Dominion gives a lot of ACC teams a lot of problems.
Remember a couple years ago, that was one of the biggest upsets of all time when they went into Blacksburg, and I think Virginia Tech was a top 15 team in the country, like 4 or 5 years ago when Old Dominion came in and just shocked them. Old Dominion got blasted their first 3 games, and then all of a sudden showed up and knocked off Vaca.
Yeah, because it was two years ago where they were at no, I think they were hosting North Carolina 2 years ago, and they had that like 21 or no, it was like something like that between the two teams, like 48 points in the fourth quarter combined, and they lost by 2 points or something to North Carolina or something like that. It was some ridiculous points, 48-point fourth quarter between the two teams or something. It was like.
So Old Dominion does miss Troy, but like that's probably their most winnable non-conference game. They actually have to go on the road to play that.
Marshall misses Troy also.
Yeah.
Well, the note for Old Dominion Virginia Tech is that all the times Virginia Tech's beaten Old Dominion, it's been at Blacksburg, but they've never beaten Old Dominion at Old Dominion in Norfolk.
They've actually played at Old Dominion? Oh, I guess they're playing this year. They're playing at in Norfolk.
They've played at Old Dominion in 2022 and in 2018.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Those are games that have skipped my memory.
I mean, I guess it's far enough away, even though they're in the same state. They're a considerable distance apart.
I mean, logistically, it makes perfect sense. For fans and for the team, so it makes perfect sense.
There's a bright side for Virginia Tech going into this game against Old Dominion in Week 3. They're not going to be on CW.
I guess so.
Because the ACC has nothing left to do. They have nothing left going for them.
Yeah, I mean, like that just is strange to me. Like, I mean, it would be like, if Michigan played at Western Michigan or something like that. Like, why? Why are you playing here? Ohio State went to Bowling Green.
Yeah, I mean, like this year, I mean, this is the Sun Belt talk, but like this year, Oregon and Oregon State. Well, we were just in the same conference last year, and it's still our in-state rival, so it's a traditional rivalry. It's not just we're gonna go play at Western Oregon Community College.
Go to Portland State.
Yeah, that will probably wouldn't. I don't think that's ever happened. It will definitely not happen anytime soon.
Oh man, that was an ass blasting, is what it was. And we're gonna be seeing South Alabama in their first season in the major Applewhite era, as the Womack back Kane Womack has left for Alabama to be the new defensive coordinator in the Kayla DeBoer era.
I did want to make a mention about Marshall though, real quick. You know who the quarterback for Marshall is this year? Expected to be.
I can get to look that up.
Marshall.
Yeah, I was like, I have to look that one up. Jackson will find it 10 times faster than me. Google, damn it.
Let's see.
It's Cole Pennington, Chad Pennington's son. Is
there you go. Cole Pennington.
Yep.
Oh.
It's going to be the so rekindle some of that magic. I don't think he has a similar Randy Moss level talent to throw to, but
not really.
You can probably feel confident that he knows the game pretty well because Chad Pennington was one of the smartest QBs ever.
What do you think of South Alabama?
I wish they put South Alabama Troy on rivalry week, but oh well. I can watch them on Tuesday night.
I'll watch them on Tuesday night because there will be nothing else on. But yeah, that seems like a weird Tuesday night game.
Yeah. Yeah. Tuesday night. Give Maction a run for its money.
I was like Tuesday. Like, damn, that is. I just noticed that when you said that. I was like, oh, it is Tuesday. But then Texas State has the same thing. Texas State hosted Louisiana on a Tuesday. I'm like, all right.
Well, we're going to be seeing Texas State, Arizona State on Thursday night. Yeah. I wonder if they're going to upset Arizona State like they did Baylor last year.
If you consider that an upset,
that will be maybe the youngest two coaches in the country doing business there. Both are like in their early 30s.
Dillingham is like 34, 35.
I think he's like 32. I think I thought he was 31 last year, but maybe
I think he's 30. Okay, we'll just go with 33. Point is, yeah, he's definitely one of the youngest, and he's going to his second year, obviously. I find it funny too. Is Arizona State is going to Texas State.
San Marcos.
To Texas State. That just seems weird. I don't know why, but the Pac-12 was doing that for a couple of years. Like Cal went to North Texas last year or the year before.
Last year.
So they've been doing it. This one, I don't know what this symbol means or why, but I'm assuming that means neutral site. There's probably a key somewhere, so I guess they're playing not at the Houston Stadium. Maybe they're playing NRG. That would be weird. It's just a Sam Houston.
Texas
State, Houston. Like Houston Stadium, NRG Stadium for the Texans. What are you playing? Is there a team down here?
The interesting too, Texas State. I mentioned it earlier. They do have Jordan McLeod defecting from James Madison in intra-conference transfer of the conference previous year's conference player of the year. So big boost for the Bobcats there. And I mean, I think this certainly seems to be a program with their stock rising for sure.
Oh,
I agree. I do agree with that. Texas State has been at least kind of little by little climbing out of obscurity.
I mean, they were from the time that they jumped to FBS up until last year, they were absolutely pitiful. I can't remember how long they had been in. It probably was like 6-7 years before then. And they were absolute bottom feeders. Now they're on the come up.
Yeah.
I'll have to look more into this. I don't know what this means. I'm assuming it means neutral site or something like that.
Well, it says Houston right there, so it would
enter the stadium.
Probably. That's what I'm assuming means neutral site G or something like that.
I mean, are they really going to be? Why have a game like that there? I mean, are they really going to?
I don't know. I
mean, how many people are going to throw?
Don't ask me. Why are you getting mad at me, Sean? You cool it over there. I didn't make the schedule.
No, you got to tell them put that game on Sam Houston's campus because I really want to see that high school stadium. But
once again, the stadium is a lot better than it used to look. It does look a lot better than it used to look. Yeah, it used to be just atrocious, and actually, well, they put money into it. So I'll give them credit for that, but it does only hold like whatever we said before, like 8,000 people, 10,000 people, something like that. Like it's a tiny ass bowl stadium. I mean, that's all it is. It's tiny. Which actually makes me want to go there for a home game though, just because it'd be interesting. And I want to watch dudes work out.
Yes.
One of the end zones in the glass weight room. That'd be like
Yeah,
touchdown, and the guy's just sitting on a trike, like, hey. Like whatever. All right, let's carry on. I can't make fun of Sam's alma mater too much. Troy, ooh, at Memphis.
At Iowa.
Oh God, that's the game Iowa loses every year. Is this one weird game like hosting Troy or whatever, where they will just piss it away because they have just such a terrible offense where the other team can score just enough.
This is gonna be so weird. It's gonna be like a 21-10 victory for Iowa. Good grief.
Sweetie men's? Well, and some of them are sweet. Most of them are assholes. But thanks, Dave. Thank you, Dave. Dave's here. Thank you, Dave, for being here. As always. Dave's always here.
Nothing worse than paying to get your butt beat, unless that's your thing. But I don't know. Some teams like it hot like that, I guess.
Well, I always had those downfalls before against lesser teams in a way like that. So it depends on their offense, because those are always those low scoring games where it's like a 16-13, 13-10, weird score game, 13-12 because of safety or something. Like those types of games. So that could be interesting.
And can Troy maintain the momentum they built the past few years after losing? What was the name of the coach again that went to Tulane?
John Sumrall.
John Sumrall. Yeah, that should be. Yeah. So I don't know. Gerard Parker, is it? No.
Yeah, he's a joke.
Yeah. So, I mean, the indications are they probably should still be pretty good, but who knows?
I feel like they're going to have a drop like Coastal Carolina did last season.
It still might be good enough to win that division, too, because that division is just very weak. It's probably about as big of a contrast from one division to another as we've seen in a while.
They could take a dip, but yeah, even first year, they could at least maintain and be like, and then you could see maybe the decline. Yeah, it's hard to tell. It's not the worst schedule, obviously at Memphis, at Iowa. Not the easiest defeats.
No.
Even Nevada. It's like
FAMU, they should absolutely steamroll though.
Should at home, but.
Well, speaking of absolute garbage dumpster fire, let's talk about Louisiana Monroe's.
No, there's no need to talk about ULM. We're gonna.
I don't know. Well, I'm kind of curious to see what's going. There's just nothing. I wonder if we're gonna see Auburn smack Louisiana Monroe, or if they're gonna go down like they did against New Mexico State.
I don't know. New Mexico State last year was kind of on the same level that Louisiana Monroe is now, like just one of the 5 or 6 worst teams in the country going into last year, and completely shocked everyone with the season they had.
Brian Benson, the new head coach for Louisiana Monroe, was the interim coach for UAB when Bill Clark retired.
No. Well, he's walking in a good situation with very low expectations.
True. Which, funny enough, they're going to be going against UAB in week 2.
Yeah, they're non-con. I mean, well, with all due respect, ULM was so bad. Jackson State, UAB, Texas, and Auburn. Not ideal. With all due respect to ULM, but they were so bad.
So under, will Quinn Ewers have over under 310 passing yards? Quentin Ewers against ULM.
I would probably say under, because they'll probably try to keep the game plan pretty vanilla, and he'll probably be out of there midway through the third quarter.
And then it'll be Arch Manning's turn to pad his stats.
Yes, absolutely.
That's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Like, does he get in the third quarter or the fourth quarter?
Midway third. They keep viewers in for like 2 drives, and then all right.
That'll be one of those games you see the stat line for Texas at the end of the game, and it's like 8 different players carried the football and 12 different players caught a pass. It'll be like, everyone will get all the walk-ons. The guys that don't travel with the team, they'll all get their chance to shine.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of what those games are for, It's let your other guys get some reps here.
It'll be interesting to see where Texas is at coming off the Michigan game. Could be riding high.
That's true too. That is true too. Kind of a sleeper game.
Very, very much so.
Are we gonna see Coastal Carolina beat Virginia, or are we gonna see Virginia pull off a victory somehow?
Oof.
That's
what I was gonna tell you guys. Go through each one of these and kind of like mark out kind of the toughest games outside the non-con. Because obviously we just kind of briefly went over non-con. Because obviously Coastal at Virginia, or hosting Virginia, I could see them. I could see Coastal taking that game.
Oh yeah.
I could see that. I don't doubt that potential. Unless Virginia just totally flips everything around all of a
sudden. Coastal Carolina's perpetual quarterback has actually Grayson McCall, who did not come back for his 12th year at Coastal, I guess, and transferred to North Carolina State.
Oh yeah.
So they'll have to overcome that. That'll be a different sight, seeing them without him at the helm.
App State and Clemson.
I don't like. I think Tony Elliott's doing good things at Virginia. I don't really think Coastal's. I think that game will be more lopsided than you might suspect at this point. No, although it's another one. You gotta hand it to the Sun Belt. They get programs to come to them. So a lot more than you would think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I'm more interested in the App State Clemson game right there.
Yeah. App State is scary. I mean, They basically gave Texas A&M the what for in 2022, and after like near scares against, they put into like Penn State 2018, and 2019. I remember they beat North Carolina, then they beat South Carolina in November. 2021 they gave Miami a scare. Last year they gave the Tar Heels a scare. I wonder what the line is going to be for App State Clemson for week 2.
I'm
Because I'll
guessing
be honest,
it'll be high teens, like 18-ish,
oh
18 and a half,
hell,
something like that.
I'll pick App State to beat spread against Clemson if that's the case.
Yeah.
Because I mean, regardless of how Clemson does against Georgia, I'm picking App State to beat that spread.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure how they do against Georgia will influence the spread quite a bit.
That's true. Because App State is one scary mother. Arkansas State, Iowa State. Kind of feel like Iowa State's going to win.
Yeah, Arkansas. I mean, Arkansas State's not one of the teams you would pick really as a potential upset candidate from the league. So,
yeah. I mean, I just wonder how long Butch Jones is going to be there.
yeah. I mean, I guess they made a little bit of progress last year. I mean, this is only his third year, though, right?
Fourth.
I think fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I think they've gotten a little better every year since he's been there. So, I mean, they were absolutely horrific. In 21. Remember, they played Ohio State in 22 and actually showed up a little bit more than I thought they would. But, I mean, that first game against Central Arkansas, they'll probably be underdogs in that game. It'll be close. That's actually Central Arkansas is a quality FCS team. You know the most famous alum from Central Arkansas, Jackson?
Yeah, I'm just, it's just going to be interesting to see what happens with Ark State.
Yeah. So you don't have control of this PDF, do you?
Nope. I'm afraid not.
All righty then.
I'm here.
Interesting one here. App State Liberty. I completely missed this when I was looking.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one.
They're out of conference one. That's going to be one of the more interesting G5 versus G5 non-conference games.
They should put that one on Thursday night, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. I mean, I would Friday night. I mean, what it compete against. Yeah.
That'd be nice as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, Clay Helton's doing a better job in his redemption to Georgia Southern than Butch is at Arkansas State, obviously.
Yeah, that Clay Helton, he kind of had to overhaul that program, spending all that time running the triple option. Now they're basically a pro style offense.
It was funny though, where after week 2, like a day or so after week 2, he gets fired because USC loses Stanford. Then, like a year later, we see Georgia Southern playing Nebraska, and exactly like 365 days later, 364 days later, we see, Scott Frost getting fired. It's like, wow, that's like a wow. I don't know what to say about that one.
Is Ben back?
Seems like it. But Georgia State Vanderbilt, not so sure Georgia State's going to be giving Vanderbilt what for, because Vanderbilt's got New Mexico State's quarterback Diego Pavia.
They've also got Ohio State's punter, Jesse Merkel. Jesse Merkel, I think he transferred to be with his girlfriend at Vanderbilt. So,
well, I hope that works out for him.
Absolutely.
Dave's here says only parents and degenerate gamblers watch, or regular sized nut jobs that love college football like us. So I mean, we love college football that much. What can we say?
I'll tell you, if you do bet, I'll make a point of betting. You do absolutely want to check out these lower conference games. There's not nearly as much. Vegas doesn't put nearly as many resources into setting the lines for those games or keeping up on information. So there's probably more of an edge to be had betting the Sun Belt than there is the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Gardner Webb. I'm just trying not to laugh at that name. I don't think it's related to Charlotte.
Sounds like it should be an accounting firm, not a. Yeah. I think either investing in Lincoln Financial or Gardner Webb.
Oh my God! 4 road games in a row for Georgia State. Oh my God!
Yeah, there's more than a month. They have 4 home games in a row and 2 bye weeks. This is a really interesting layout. So they play their first game at Georgia Tech, which, as we mentioned earlier, is in the same city that they play. So they do not leave the city of Atlanta until the middle of October.
So they gotta go to West Virginia. They gotta go to North Carolina. They have to go to Connecticut.
Doors.
Then they gotta go to Norfolk, Virginia. Then they get to go back home for a week.
No, James Madison's not in Norfolk. That's all the Dominions.
Yeah, sorry. But Harrisburg, my mistake. Harrisburg. So either way, you're having to go to West Virginia, North Carolina, Connecticut, Harrisburg, Virginia. You get to go back home for a week, and then you go to Texas State. Oh my God, that's going to be a very expensive airline bill right there.
Yeah, but they save it at the beginning of the year. They're not going to have to get on a plane until October 15th. So that's it's a very odd schedule layout.
That's but what did Georgia State do exactly to deserve this? That's what I wonder.
Yeah.
Who did they make angry?
Haven't we asked that about multiple times over some of these teams and the other previews? We're like, who did they piss off? I know. Mark would come in here and be like, paid check. It's like, yeah, who did you piss off? Where the administration was like, you know what? We want you to get your ass kicked multiple times this year.
So, and Georgia State also has another of my pet peeve schedule wrinkles, which are 2 bye weeks and 3 weeks. 2 byes
And
and
it's
3
only used for the first half of the season.
I mean, yeah, I'm already not liking this schedule layout where every team has 2 bye weeks this year. I mean, but it seems like you could do something a little better than having one right after the other.
I kind of like the 2 bye week layout, but it should be used correctly. Like, use one of the bye weeks for the first half and use like the other one for the second half of the season.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm never gonna stop laughing about Georgia State tonight. Like, for real.
Yeah, it's odd. Play an SEC team at home too.
That's why some of these
Well,
and
it's
home,
Vanderbilt.
like, yeah, it's kind of weird. I mean,
Yeah,
it's still Vanderbilt. It's still Vanderbilt though. But yeah,
it's still an SEC team. I mean, they haven't been kicked out yet. They're baseball team.
I mean, they scheduled a little home and home several years back. It's just still though, it's kind of weird though.
I do want to. I mean, JMU is going to be a very interesting team. I mean, obviously, when their bowl game, didn't they have a really kind of crappy bowl showing? Because they had a bunch of opt outs and transfer portal people. I think they kind of got gutted in the off season this year.
Oh yeah,
a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not surprising. That's not totally shocking. With their coach leaving and the season they had.
Which, I mean, this is the year that they don't even. I mean, they should have been in the. They were able to play a full conference schedule last year and not eligible to play for the conference title. Go figure. But yeah, this is the first year that they're not going to have to apply for any waivers or anything to play for a conference title or to get into a bowl game.
but unfortunately, it comes at a bad time for them.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely.
But they'll definitely be in a better situation than Troy and Coastal Carolina are. And Dependent Fanatic says, I hope Georgia State does good, just like Florida. Brutal schedules.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was at Florida where. I mean, I would put money right now that Billy Napier is the first coach fired this season.
Oh, especially with that Jaden Rashada lawsuit.
Oh, it's gonna, and I don't know if that the NIL thing for him. I don't think that's on Napier. That's more on the other people with Florida dealing with that, going, yeah, we can do this, and then not backing it up. But yeah, it's not a good look for him. I don't think Napier's not going to make it halfway through the season unless he's literally like 6-1. 5-1, 6-1, something like that. He's not that.
Oh, come,
He's not.
come.
He's gonna be or has a humiliating loss. He,
Maybe he could have like a great first half start like Neil Brown in West Virginia did last year. Who knows?
that's what I mean. I mean, if he has a really great, strong start of the season, it's like 5-1, 6-1, and that loss is close to a good team, like a reputable team or something like that, or even maybe 2 losses, but very close, like 3 points to 1 touchdown, something like that. But if he has like one really embarrassing blowout loss, or loses 2 or 3 games and to a team they should not lose to, he done. They're just gonna be like, you know what, pull the plug. Like,
Does Florida open the season with Miami?
Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be that's a massive game for both of those
that
coaches.
That could be the decision maker right there. If they lost by like say 3 scores to Miami or something like that, he done. It don't matter what he does for the next 4 or 5 weeks. He's done.
Well, it's gonna be a game.
Well, depends why he has to start good. I don't
I
remember
still
the Florida
cannot.
schedule. So.
They got Georgia, Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State.
Oh yeah, no, that's brutal. Those are brutal games for Florida. That's why I said he has to start strong. But you lose by like 3 scores to Miami, you done.
Oh yeah,
it's over. They're gonna pull the plug immediately. They're
what
already
if they're
looking
like?
for a reason to pull. They're already looking for a reason to pull the plug.
Well, I mean, if they're like, let's say 5-0 going into Tennessee, I don't think they're gonna do a thing to him.
Oh yeah, no. If you go in 5-0, or like I said, like 6-1 or whatever, 6-0, 5-1, whatever, you go into that and then you put up like say you lose by 7 points to Tennessee, you're fine. You're gonna be fine. Like it won't. It's not gonna be bad. You're in a good. You're in at least a safe position, unless they've already made the decision where they're just waiting for that half season mark where they can then drop the buyout. I think the buyout drops this year like halfway through the season, doesn't it? For Napier already, something like that. I know one coach people are talking about firing. It drops like halfway through the season, where it drops like millions of dollars, so it's a lot cheaper to buy him out. I think it was Napier, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, that didn't stop Nebraska from canning Scott Frost. They ponied up the $8 million to get him out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Florida though is already doing NIL. They already paid Napier quite a bit of money, and now they have this lawsuit. Which the problem is that to me, like the lawsuit for that thing for Rashada is ridiculous. But at the same time, I'm like, well, technically you were under contract, so you were actually, I guess, somewhere in that contract promised money, and that's why there's a lawsuit, because you were promised this amount for NIL. I'm gonna guess that's how some sort of contract went down. That's the only reason you could sue. You can't sue over a handshake.
No.
A good faith handshake. Somewhere in some sort of NIL or in the signing deal with them, the letter of intent, there was a contractual obligation Florida made, which is probably really stupid. It should never guarantee someone when everyone knew there was red flags all around that amount of money they were going to offer. We all knew that last year when he signed. We were like, that was a lot of money. Anyways, moving on. Let's go, Jaden Madison. Let's go.
We've been through.
We almost lost track here. Thanks, chat. Keeping us in line.
Yeah. Yeah, the Raging Cajuns. Couple interesting games, non-conference against Tulane and
Oh,
Atwood.
yeah.
But yeah, this program. I mean, they haven't been the same. Speaking of Billy Napier, you know,
That's
since
going to be weird that's on the CW. I'm sure it'll be on there. Somebody is getting cursed if that's the case.
well, I think Charmed is on the CW, so they're used to curses.
Marshall Vertic.
Yeah. Did Marshall play Virginia? I feel like they did play last year, didn't they? Did Marshall beat them? What?
Yes, Marshall beat them.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Virginia Tech played Purdue and Rutgers last year as well.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be a nice little scheduled. You know, take $2 million to get your ass whooped on September 21st, and then come back.
So who? Hey, let's look at this. So we're looking at Louisiana Marshall, Old Dominion. Who here has the hardest path?
Let me see.
Path? Well, I mean,
without the non-con, because obviously not all non-cons are the same. Obviously, some of them have
you would think it would have to be either Marshall or Old Dominion. Just the East is just a much tougher than the West.
True. It's looking like Marshall to me because, I mean, they got to go to Georgia Southern. Then they got Georgia State coming to their backyard on a Thursday night.
But they do get Louisiana Monroe. They both miss Troy. Marshall misses Texas State and Troy, and they get Louisiana Monroe on their schedule. So yeah, Old Dominion has to have the tougher path. Yeah.
It's tough. Let's see, because again, we already talked. Old Dominion skips Troy. That's a huge win. Marshall skips Troy. That's a huge win. But Marshall has to go to Virginia Tech and Ohio State. So that's kind of like a Troy or those two.
Yeah, well, I mean, what these teams do in non-conference really doesn't matter all that much. I mean, they could. I mean, it does matter as far as getting bowl eligible and potentially where they get slotted in the bowl system. But if you're trying to see who can, if you're trying to compete for your conference title, who cares if you're playing Ohio State or Ohio Wesleyan? It's irrelevant in the long run. And Marshall's path is quite nice for being in the East. It's not, they get App State at home, get Coastal at home, so all things said, their conference schedule lines up pretty nicely.
Yeah, and again, the non-con doesn't count for the obviously the Skipping Troy, though, is a huge benefit, I will say, from Arsenal Dominion. Let's see. South Alabama, I'm not sure what to expect from South Alabama. They had some good times last year. They had some rough times. They had some close losses. Going to Ohio and then at LSU, not going to be fun. Even at Ohio, not going to be fun.
They gotta go to App State. That's scary as they come.
Yeah.
Thursday night game too. I mean, you can probably figure that the conference sort of expects them to be really competitive this year because these weekday games are where the league is going to put their more marquee matchups, and they've got probably the top two dogs in the conferences both on weekday games.
Southern Miss starting out strong at Kentucky. This is when Kentucky actually plays decent football. They forget how to play football after week 7.
Yeah, Kentucky. That opener was supposed to be Ohio. It was Ohio State until like February of this year, when Ohio State and Kentucky swapped Akron and Southern Miss. So, I mean, it's a much more winnable game for Southern Miss. Whether they do, they're still going to be huge dogs. That one.
Yeah, their non-con is absolutely nothing compared to the others. I mean, Kentucky, okay, and then you have Southeast from Louisiana and USF.
Jacksonville State too.
Oh yeah. I see Jack State, and I was like, yeah, this is conference. I'm like, damn it, damn it.
Is South Florida going to be sleeping a little bit on Southern Miss? That's the question there.
It's possible. Isn't this what makes college football great? You don't know what you're going to get every week. I mean, do you think Jackson over here thought that Alabama was going to win by 7 at South Florida last year? Hell no, he didn't. That's what makes college football great. You get heart attacks and upsets and just randomness all year round. Texas State, though, I feel bad for Texas State. Not because of Mighty Lamar, but UTSA and Arizona State. I mean, at least they did schedule. They went for it.
Well, Lamar's can be a pretty decent program too, so that might not be all that easy.
Maybe not the gimme that they're hoping for.
Maybe not. They should be a good program though, so I don't know. I mean, I definitely think that Arizona State game will be a very interesting one.
I mean, everything says Arizona State should win that one, but what is Kenny Dillingham doing year 2? And then it is at Texas State, which is not exactly a huge home field advantage. It's not like that far from Texas. I've driven through San Marcos. I know where it is. It's straight down the highway, so it's not like it's that far. Arizona State people could travel if they want to.
It's basically in the Austin area, right? Austin Metro.
It's an hour. San Marcos is like an hour and 10 minutes south of Austin.
Okay.
It's outside of Austin, but it's not that far. It's like literally like an hour and 10 minutes north of San Antonio, an hour, so like UTSA, and then an hour south of Austin. It's kind of right in between UTSA and Texas. UT, pretty much.
That's actually like next door neighbors in Texas. We'd be an hour away.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's right there. I
Mm.
mean, they do have to again. They're going to play Sam Houston in Houston. Again, we're assuming that's a neutral site. NRG probably. That's what that plus/cross means.
Texas State. They also miss App State and Miss Coastal.
They do. They do have to go to Troy and to South Alabama.
Yeah.
So not great. I heard this about another team too. I heard the Beavers had a sweet new stadium that's not going to be full. Sorry, Clint. I haven't talked shit to you little Beaver brothers in a while. We love you too, Clint. All right. Anyways, carrying on. Wow, you guys won't quiet. Okay. All right, let's wrap this bitch up.
Yeah.
What do you think of Troy? Troy's season.
I'm just really interested in that Iowa game. I mean, I think they're head and shoulders the favorites to win the West. But, Texas State's probably the biggest contender for them. But, and now you can see we got a Thursday night matchup with Texas State, Tuesday night game at South Bama. So those figure to be the more competitive games. This has been the best program in this league, really, or up there for the past like 3-4 years now. So,
what do you think about at Memphis? That could be either a shootout or a
but that's going to be an interesting one for sure.
I do agree with that, Iowa. I'm intrigued by that. I do agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely. I mean, them beating Memphis it wouldn't be an upset at all. It wouldn't be an up. That's probably a coin flip game. But that's a real potential upset spot there against the Hawkeyes.
That's fair because Iowa will probably be top 25 at that point, probably. By week 5, probably.
I mean, it depends on. I think they usually play Iowa State the second week of the year.
Yeah, so I mean the point they could be somewhere in the top 25, like 23, 24, probably at that point. Potentially, or maybe they lose though. Who knows? Yeah, so they could be top 25 though, come week 3.
And I don't know if you can necessarily bank. I mean, you can bank on their offense probably sucking still, but is it going to be like epically bad? I think is it going to be the all-time?
I bank on their defense being good though. I do bank on that. Mm-hmm. Damn it, Iowa. You and your defense.
Who likes defense?
Jackson's taking notes on us all. I don't like this. No. I saw him down here. He's writing stuff. I don't like this.
Yeah, and Monroe could legitimately go winless. Yeah, so.
Well, they were 2 wins last year. Is that what we saw at the beginning graphic? If I remember.
Probably sounds about right. Sounds kind of right.
Let me double check here. Yes. ULM LA Monroe was 2-10 overall. Let me see. Who are their wins against? Let me see here. Should be able to pull this up. Let me see. No, that's 22. Don't skip that far back. They beat Army by 4 at home. They beat Lamar by 10 at home. And then they lost to App State at home by 1. 41-40. They got blown out by South Alabama by 48 points. They lost to Texas State on the road by 1 point. 21-20. They lost by 10 to Georgia Southern. They lost by 10 to Arkansas State. They lost by 17 to Southern Miss, by 31 to Troy. They lost 32 points to Ole Miss, 31 points to Louisiana. So they did have actually a couple, 2 1-point losses against the better teams, Troy and Texas State. So shocking. I had to look into the score info, and that's what I was doing. I was like, so shocking.
I guess that's something that is like different on the like the MAC and the Sun Belt levels. Is there's not really that big of a gap in the talent that they recruit to these places. It's not like the Big Ten where Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon just have better players than more than half the league, and they're going to win almost all the time. The difference in between a successful program and a struggling program at this level is it's all about development, coaching, all those things. That's just because they're mostly kind of getting the same kind of players.
Yeah, 100%. I think the coaching development here is what will. We're already seeing it. We've seen it a lot over the years, but now even more so is where then 1 or 2 years of good performance from a player, they'll move up to a Power 5 team.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But that shows the development and the skill. It's not necessarily they came as a 5-star, like, oh my God, this school got a 5-star. It's like, no, they were developed from a 2-3-star.
Yeah.
Into that type of 4 to 5-star player.
And
want him.
And generally, you'll probably see, be able to tell like the health of a program by which programs are losing guys to Power 5 programs, and which programs are bringing in guys who have failed at Power 5 programs. Because you probably will have like a lot of programs like Monroe and stuff trying to. Just trying to gamble on some of these talents that were at these bigger schools, whereas, more developmental programs are probably not going to be reaching for those kind of guys, and they're going to be losing guys, to the SEC and Big Ten.
Yeah, sorry, Clint, not the Pac-2. Shots fired back to Clint. He's not even here anymore. I'm so show his shade. Sorry, Clint. He should be throwing shade at my end, I guess. Oh well, whatever. Anyways, Jackson, ULM, Troy, who we got? Who you got? They don't play each other.
They do.
Who's gonna have a better season? Wait, where?
On the September 28th.
I'm sorry. I was looking at Troy's schedule, looking for looking for Troy. I'm like, where? I don't see it. It's like, oh yeah, week 5. Ignore me. I'm tired. I got to pack. I got to travel tomorrow. Who you got, Jack? Who's gonna have the better schedule, better record? I think it's pretty easy, but
it's obvious, Troy.
At least the conference was nice to go. Hey, you have a Thursday Texas State game. You're off that weekend. Then you get, the Tuesday game. They weren't like, hey, Thursday, 6 days later you're gonna play. At least they weren't asses to them about it. Tuesday football game. Did we have Tuesday football games this last season?
Yeah. Always. And probably a lot of these games that are scheduled for Saturday will get flexed into weekday games.
Wednesday or Thursdays. Wednesday or Thursdays, probably.
Hmm.
I don't remember that many Tuesday games. I know there was a few. I don't remember that many. Not compared to years past where you had, midweek action.
Yep.
So I don't remember this many this last year. But maybe it's just because I was on Sling only, so I wasn't like scanning the channels like I used to. All right, gentlemen, who is your conference title contenders? Who are your official conference title contenders? Who's going to be in the conference championship game for the Sun Belt?
Okay.
So I'd say we have 4 strong contenders. I'd say four pretty strong. Let me do this. Let me share this one more time, just so we can look up last year's, so it makes it simpler for everyone to see. Where did it go? That's not one. There it is. It's not that one though. It's nope, not you. There you are. That way everyone can look at the Sun Belt teams, top to bottom. It makes it a little easier when you see the team and the logos. I think there are 4, maybe 5 strong contenders, but I don't know if the rest have a shot. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think it's going to be pretty cut and dry for me. I think I'm going to take App State, a repeat of last year, App State over Troy. I do like Texas State, and I think Coastal is a real threat there, but pretty chalky for me. I'm going to go App State against Troy. App State wins.
For right now, I'll go with App State and Texas State for the Sun Belt title game. And for right now, I'll go App State for the Sun Belt.
I think those are all extremely fair predictions. Like we said, we don't know what Coastal's going to do. James Madison, we kind of expect a little drop off, but you never know. It's always an unknown. State at least is, I say, consistent. Troy will be consistent. Texas State will be consistent. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna have to go with Sean. I think App and Troy again, with App taking it. But I could be wrong. Troy could take it. I mean, at this moment in time, I can't go with it. But I could see Texas State being there too. You never know. Those, a couple of those losses turn to wins. Texas State is right there too. I'm gonna stick with that. I'm gonna go App State again. I'm gonna stick. I'll be consistent. I'll look like an idiot 9 months from now. Not even 9 months. 7 months.
6.5.
Do I hear Sean's cat losing her mind?
Just stop purring.
Or is that my cat? I thought I heard a cat. Like, that could have been my cat from this room asking me to turn on the sink because he's in need of shit. So I swore I heard a cat, so I wanted to check. Anyways, everyone. So we got App State, Texas State, right? Jackson? Texas State?
Yep. App
All
State,
right.
Texas State.
Okay. So we're all in agreement. So it's one of the top. There's the 4 to 5 top teams. That's it. I mean, I don't think the others are going to take that big of a jump. At least that we can see at this point. Obviously, we could be wrong. 3 weeks into the season ago, wow, we were terrible at this game. All right, well, everyone, I have got a pack, but what are you guys doing on your Memorial Day? Jackson, Sean, any special plans, so to say, events, get-togethers?
Probably just spending time with some relatives on Memorial Day and hanging out with some of the veterans that I have in my family.
Barbecue.
Yes, something like that.
Thank you, George, for that picture of a gator.
There you go.
Not realistic, but thank you.
Oh, you don't see many gators with wearing sweaters and baseball caps and standing straight up and with opposable thumbs. Actually, I don't know. Do gators have fingers? Do they? I don't know.
What about you, Sean? What are you doing this Memorial Day? And chat, too. Let us know in the chat what you guys have going on Monday on Memorial Day.
Well, I had plans today to go but a friend's lake house. Unfortunately, the weather here in Grand Rapids was absolute dog shit. And I also went to a Nirvana cover band concert last night, and yeah, kind of imbibed on the heavy side last night. So I was fine just sitting home and watching a couple movies, and I have nothing at all planned for tomorrow. I don't know. Probably.
Are you trying to tell all the responsible viewers of this channel that you want to go overboard with some thinky things?
I know it'll shock everybody on this, but yes, I was in desperate need of some Pedialyte this morning.
Oh, those are the worst mornings where you're like this. I need straight electrolytes. Straight, just give it to me.
Yes. So who knows? Probably not shaving tomorrow again. Shock, but
Fear
I
the
don't
beard.
have that clip on here when I play it because I have the clip on my channel where I play it. It's like, why? Because you're a man, and it's like, now you're a man, man. I don't have that. Mark would kill me. He would absolutely lose his shit. Yes, that Mark. That one. No cheeseburger. I need to start doing that more. That would make the show a little more entertaining. Yes, George, we know Portland, my hometown, is a crime-ridden wasteland. I know, George. It's just in the chat. Yes, we know. We all know this, George. Well, you guys enjoy your barbecues because I will be enjoying the airport. Going to UK. Jolly old England.
Is travel real heavy on Memorial Day? I almost think it might be a good day to travel.
Which one? Okay.
Was it?
I didn't hear what you said. Kind of.
Oh, I'm just saying it's Memorial Day. It seems like that might be a pretty good day to travel. Might not be a whole lot of people leaving. Might not be a.
I think of it like a lot of holidays, kind of up and down. You know, it's a long weekend, so a lot of people are traveling, like Thursday or Friday before,
Yeah.
and then leaving Monday, maybe Tuesday. This one's different because it's international, and Memorial Day is just a U.S. holiday. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was what it was. There was some changes in my new work where they're like, we're gonna bump you a week up, and then it's a holiday, so we were gonna send you Sunday, but you're technically off Monday, your salary, so they don't want to take off from. This company is very like this. When you're off work, fuck work. They don't fuck around with that. They're like, when you're off, you're off. They don't want to screw with that at all. That's just that's the headquarters straight up. They're like, you want it when we're off? Yeah, go away, leave. They don't play with that. I'm like, okay, that's cool. So I'll just fly tomorrow on my day off, or today rather now, and then I'll go straight in on Tuesday. As soon as I get there, I have like a 2-hour ride from London to the city they're in, and then I'll go straight into work for a few hours. They'll probably take me out to lunch or dinner. They're going to give me their U.S. company card that they have over there, and I just use it for meals. And I'm there for like 2 weeks. And I don't go to Paris again and go to the catacombs while I'm there. But do you know how much a train ride from there to Paris and back is round trip?
How much or how long?
How much?
Oh, probably. I mean, they're pretty affordable. Usually, good public transportation. I'd say it'd be like $150, something like that.
$400.
Okay.
Do you know how much a round trip flight is? Not from London, but from one of the other cities in the UK. It's near me. Round trip, non-stop round trip. Do you know how much that is?
$400.
150. Hour flight non-stop each way. I'm like, I'll take the motherfucking flight then. Fuck you when you train. Your 7-hour train ride. $400. Fucking bullshit. Sorry. I apologize, Mark, if you ever see this. Not really, I know. He doesn't care. So, bullshit. For one person, $400 round trip train ride. Really?
I had it completely backwards. Then.
It does, right? I mean, the flight, I could see if the flight was like $250 nonstop, round trip nonstop, and the train was like $175, $200. I'd be like, well, okay, that kind of makes sense. You're paying a convenience fee for the flight. I'm like, how is the train almost 3 times? Like, yeah, no. Like, what? No, you smoke them if you got them, George. And you just get up and you try to run to the drink trolley and steal all the liquor bottles at the same time. All right. Anyone else got some final thoughts on the Sun Belt, Fun Belt for 2024?
I've got all my thoughts.
Nope.
Tim, now is not the time, Tim. Now is not the time. Now's not the time, Tim. Shouldn't be joking about this on Memorial Day. Wait a minute. What an ass, Tim.
I'm just excited for the Missouri Valley breakdown in a few weeks from now.
No.
Is it?
Yeah. No. Goodbye. All right. We're not doing that. Oh, he's back. He's controlling himself.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not doing the Missouri Valley. No. That would take such a deep dive. I would have to go back and watch so many highlight videos to be like, what? What happened? That's a valid question. Do you think the Sun Belt is the top G5 conference? Now, that is a valid question.
I
would like to
still,
entertain that. I would entertain that one.
I mean, I still think it's the American, even with the departures, the defections. It is kind of weird, though. We're talking about maybe being the top G5 conference. I don't think we necessarily feel any of these teams in this league are big time contenders for that G5 bid. I mean, I guess they could, but
Well, the AAC exactly, and then I do have to agree with Jason here, and we've talked about it. The Mountain West is still very strong, but are they going to be the top? That's such a tough decision because I mean, like last year, I think we all agree if you had to pick the best Group of 5 team last year, it would have been SMU. But Liberty got the bowl bid as the G5 team. I think SMU would have definitely given Oregon at least a better game by far, definitely. It's I don't know if I can argue the point right now if they're going to be the top maybe team because maybe Troy does go pull a couple upsets and go 11-1, or
yeah,
you never know. It's just that it takes that 1 year, or one team turns around a couple losses from the year before, and boom.
It's amazing. They've kind of completely flipped the script on Conference USA in the last few seasons. I mean, they've stolen a couple of their teams. The Conference USA seems to be picking up a lot of the lower level teams. I mean, this was not that long ago clearly the weakest conference in the country, and yeah, they've definitely improved, and obviously there's enough players in this part of the country that they should be able to have a strong G5 league.
I think it's just funny because every year we look at this and you have your ideas. Like last year, Boise not projected to do super well. They really didn't do well. Then they got rid of Avalos, and boom, took off. They were like inspired, and you expect Boise State to continue that streak. Will it happen? You don't know. That's the greatest thing is like you just don't know what every year is going to bring you. I assume Boise State will be good. We've already talked about this with the West preview that we did, so go back and check on those videos. Yeah, I expect the Sun Belt just to be as usual, though. I expect them to be the Fun Belt, where you just don't know what you're going to get. To some degrees, we have our projections, maybe a little bit like our intuitions of what we're thinking it will be, but until you watch the games, you don't know. Especially the Tuesday and Thursday night games. Spoiler alert, those are the fun ones.
All right. Oh, guys, I'm kind of fading pretty fast here. Are you? Is there anything?
You have been fading for like an hour. You monster.
Yeah, there's not much left to fade then.
Nope. That is perfectly fine with me, Jackson. Any final comment? Because I myself, again, people can't see it. Right behind me is a suitcase. It is empty. And I have to go to the airport in like 13 hours. So I got to. Everything's ready to go. I just haven't put it in the bag.
That's about all. I don't have any final thoughts.
How long is your flight supposed to be?
It's like 9 hours nonstop.
Is it nonstop?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, they didn't fuck around. The guy was like, "Oh no, I'm flying United. I'm like, yes, my mileage. Hell yeah. He's like, I don't give a fuck. $1,500 booked.
That is,
Like, okay, cool.
that is a long time to be on a plane, though.
That's not even that bad. It's still a long time, but it's not bad. I spent 17 hours on nonstop on a plane. I thought it was a typo. I thought it was a typo on the ticket. No, 17 hours nonstop.
Are you going to get to Britain at like in the middle of the night? Sure.
I don't even remember the flight that much because it was so miserable. It was Johannesburg to Atlanta, and then I had 55 minutes to go through customs to get on another flight to go to Dallas. To get home. So I didn't even get like a break off the plane, technically, or a cigarette for fuck's sake. I ain't getting any nicotine. Anyways, all right. So we might be back here. It is right now, of course, 26th, 27th, wherever you're watching from. We will not be on June 2nd. We might be back June 9th. I will be back then. So we might do a show the June 9th. I'm going to talk to Jackson and Sean briefly at the backstage about maybe an idea for that show.
Mm-hmm.
We are done with conference schedule previews. So after this, it will just be kind of fun, what if topics. So maybe a little more entertaining too, because obviously the Sun Belt is not going to draw a lot of people in, because we don't go back to the Sun Belt. Who the hell cares? It's the Sun Belt, people. Get with it. We have to cover everyone, right? So, I love the Sun Belt. So we'll talk backstage, and we might be back the 9th or the following week.
Anything can happen. So get ready, because it's going to be a wild ride. And don't forget to go on the merch store to look for some gifts for all the dads on Father's Day, especially the ones that are the biggest college football fans in your life.
That's right. That's right. Jackson, I know, is posting all the links for everything. He's all over it all the time. And yeah. Unless you have somebody else, gentlemen. Nothing else? Nothing else? Nothing?
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing at all.
I wasn't really asking you. I was literally just trying to buy time while I find it. It's hidden in Tim's videos. Tim, stop loading so many videos in this damn back room. All right. Everyone, thank you for joining us for the Sunday Fun Belt conference schedule preview for 2024. We will see you in 2 weeks, maybe 3. Hit the notification bell. That way you don't miss it. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit that like button if you haven't, really quick on the way out. And Jackson, I know you want somebody to play me out, right?
Ooh, I guess that Pop-Tart. He's got that 32nd degree Mason going.
What Pop-Tart? Ah, crap.
Oh, there he is. No, 32nd degree Mason.
Oh, my.
I guess that ref secretly lights it because he's just doing nothing.
That must have been practice. There's no way he did not rack the ball. He didn't even observe him coming up on him at all. Giant Pop-Tart right up on him.